and whatever I see is smiling at me. Love is who I am.
Dear beloveds, we're gathered here again today in this beautiful sacred space to help you recognize any of the distorted patterns that are still held in your structure of the DNA that are in a way causing the blockage system or preventing the higher light of illumination to enter into your physical DNA for the full rewrite and transcription of those light quotes, of that light quotient to occur within your physical body or your physical nature of expression. We first want to invite you to consider yourself not just as a physical human being, but an extension or a super expansion of the divine. Your extension is as powerful as the life force moving through you, which means that your vertical expression of life becomes a horizontal expression of that essence of life itself. One example would be being embodied or existing on this planet unconsciously and simply seeing yourself as this body here on the planet versus this fully conscious, awakened, illumined human essence that becomes a cosmic channel for divinity of life itself. As that spark of life is ignited within your sacred flame, you're able to not just illuminate yourself, not just regenerate yourself, not just revitalize yourself, but mostly become an extension of that as an essence of life in a physical body formation, embodiment and existence that moves out into the conscious creation that reverberates with its illumined, empowered state of being, and bringing the gifts and blessings of life so that the life force quotient continues to rise. The first very important part of this step is allowing your bodies to unburden from the unnecessary processing of the many things you put inside of your vehicle, physically, emotionally, mentally, sometimes even spiritually. All of your four lower bodies are being overburdened and overstimulated, as well as that coming through the many chaotic scenarios, mechanical scenarios that are being held on this planet at this time. No one at this current level of human evolution is fully immune to what is occurring in the environment. But those of you who will really tune into the life force mastery as an inner spirit technology and devotion to life will be able to develop the kind of bodies that will be fully in flow. And there is this great paradox that in a way, the more you are in flow, which means less resistance there is, the more resilient, the more resistant you become to that which seems depleting or destructive for the physical body. Now, considering all these elements and unburdening yourself so that you can start your journey of full body regeneration and revitalization, we wish now to take you onto this short channel light activation, which will help to merge your own life force with the planetary stream of life, or the so-called planetary life force. The planet itself, as do you, receive or channel the energy of the galactic pulse of light. And you do that in a simultaneous process. But those of you who are more tuned into the planetary elemental structure are doing this on a very organic, natural basis of life already. However, when you start to use that as a practice of life, more consciously or deliberately with a focused intent, you're actually helping to co-create a greater quotient of light on this planet. There was a lot shared about this already through this channel, which means that all the pathways are there in front of you once you become aware of that. But awareness of that is one thing, and the actual physical embodiment of it is something that's completely different. They are both a part of one unified process, and yet it's the actual integrity of the physical embodiment that is able to take you to the next step. Because nowadays, so many people complain about their states, the states of their bodies, the states that their bodies are currently in, and not doing anything. Because simply they have not recognized that life force moves through every structure, through every plant, every participant in this game of life that holds a mineral structure within it, just as your bodies do. So when that potential is recognized and the life force of the planet is seen as equal to yours, there is a beautiful alchemical process occurring through which the elemental structure of the planetary upliftment or advancement in its evolutionary state is guiding your own bodies into this in a very organic way. So those of you who are tuned into the planetary expanding life force, you're naturally feeling into the kind of foods or structures that are either good or bad for you. And this is very much attuned for you just by being present, alert, and deeply aware. However, those of you who perhaps are not that attuned, that simply means that the merging process with the planetary field of life has not occurred within the highest life force potential for you as an individual. Now, that being said, let us enter into the sacred space where we simply feel into the love, the beauty, and the potential of life. When we say life, we simply mean all that is alive and thriving through life force expression of its primary source essence, as that essence of source directly descends through the many layers of creation that eventually become the manifest reality. Every time you take a breath, you can either do it consciously or unconsciously. Every time I take a walk, it's the same thing. Every time you rest, it's the same thing. You always do something, whether you eat something, perhaps, either consciously or unconsciously. Besides all that was shared in the beginning of this sharing or training, there is a very strong placement of focus on how that is being done. So what we eat and then how we attune to the energy of what we're eating. How we're attuned to the energy of walking, of resting, of meditating, of sharing love, of being creative. So the full body revitalization is not just about body wellness. When you say, oh, now I need to rest to replenish, or now I need to sleep to replenish, a lot of times that is not so, because it is more about the life force process you either cultivate within you or not. As beings who oversee the entirety of life force movement that is being expressed through principles of creation, we can most easily witness that within each being. Each being that awakens their consciousness to what was shared before as the Elohim consciousness of the creation principles of life and life force mastery is contributing or starts to contribute to this larger process of this evolving ascension, or we can say evolutionary ascension. Now, you can every day start to attune yourself with the planetary life force. Whether you're outside or indoors, it doesn't matter. We will do this together right now in this simple example of the light exercise, where you will notice that within your sacred heart, which beats with the blood of life and the breath of life together, which is being moved through the sacred fire of Holy Spirit, and within those blood vessels that expand within your body and that oxygenate your body, you will now start to feel that the same pulsation of life is occurring within the planetary elemental structure. You may witness the seed of this planetary consciousness as a rotating globe within your sacred heart. And you may even affirm, my life force is the very essence of the force of life that moves through this planet and beyond. I am attuned to the life force of the infinite design, the grand design of life that moves through the cosmic pulse of life, becoming all life, all nature, all the kingdoms, all the expressions of life. As you attune to this decree and this awareness, simply witness yourself as the planet. Allow the planetary essence of ultimate nourishment through that merging, the synthesis with your own life force to occur. Build a solid relationship, this infinite flow dynamic between you and the planetary consciousness. And just feel into that. Feel it expanding within you. Feel it growing and evolving and transforming. And through this natural merging process, you feel all old convictions, beliefs, addictions, attachments to drop away. All your cravings, all that in a way you are using to overcompensate for the natural life force moving through you. Feel all that dissipating, dissolving through this union with the planetary life force. And becoming yourself, the holiness of life, the essence of life itself. With this union, you are gifting life through the contribution of your conscious life force usage or expression, so that all the other facets of your life naturally reflect and mirror that in divine design, so that you will naturally know what is good for you, what is revitalizing for you, what is nourishing and replenishing for you, so that you will naturally know how much sleep you require, how much rest you require, how much movement or exercise you require, how much aloneness and how much relating experiences you require. When you naturally fuse with this organic nature through the liberation of the life force of the Holy Spirit, you become an invitation of life, seeding its divine potential within your very nature, with your very expression, so that every facet of you can reflect this state of natural divinity. In this way, you know that divinity is not something to aim for or to reach. It is something to continuously invite into your sacred vessel, so that the transforming body or the transfiguring nature of your body is a blending experience of this sacred alchemy. Now, in the space, feel immense gratitude for all the facets of life, all the elements of life. Feel the gratitude for the elementals. They're constantly co-creating this creatrix design in such a beautifully represented form. Feel the gratitude for the being that we call Gaia. Feel the gratitude for the infinite life force of creation. Feel your utmost inner union and cosmic bliss in co-creation with life. And in this way, you are not just a participant with life, but a master co-creator. You're not just a spectator, you are a conscious creator. Through your life force, you're not only adding to what is called the increased entropy of the planet and the energetic, overwhelming presence, but you are helping to raise the life force quotient within yourself, within your own well-being, and feeling how that well-being that is you interconnects with the well-being of all. So that all may return in its natural, innate design inscribed through the seed of life, through your own sacred space, your attunement, your devotion, your divine love and holy grace. And so be it, and so it is. I hope you enjoyed the activation. I feel very good. And thank you for participating in this light quotient increase on our planet. It is so, so very needed. If you happen to find a very depleted spot, maybe you're going to be guided to sit there a while. Instead of fearing what's happening, just bring your presence there. But be mindful of what you're eating, what you're putting in your body, what you're associating with. Not all is harmonious. Some things are toxic for us, even relationships. So be very much on the lookout, be observant, be witnessing life. And if you want to understand these divine principles of life from a higher perspective, you can go to my books section and try out these audio mini books about different things in life and creation as the Elohim series. And yes, thank you for being here. So much love, wisdom, and power. Take care.
Welcome into my world, the world of the elven song, magical.